Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is what if Bell had the sharigan. And this what if is gonna start off with Bell living with his family in a village. The village is gonna be surrounded by the mountains, so the village is gonna be protected by mostly raiders. So the village would be peaceful, so they wouldn't have to fight, and they wouldn't have much weapons to defend themselves. uh, but there would be a few caves lying around in the villages. No, Bell and his friends, while playing near the mountains, would spot a cave like that. Bell and his friends would go towards one of the caves with a torch. Bell and his friends would hear a scream like, "Ah, get out of here! Get out of here!" As Bell and his friends would get scared as, What is that? What is it?" And they would hear a large a sound of a man dying as they would feel something ominous about this cave. They would uh, they would start to get out of the cave while um, but the beasts, which these types of monsters would be right around the corner, trapping them. Bell throws the torch towards one of the beasts and burning him, and would escape with his friends. As they would rush off to the village, warning about it, these beasts would be much faster than them, catching up to them and killing Bell's friends one by one. Bell, seeing this, would be horrified as he wanted to go to his parents as soon as possible. Bell would reach the village, but before Bell could reach, the village would be destroyed or be infested or be destroyed by these monsters. These monsters would kill any humans that were alive in the village, as they didn't want any humans to survive. Um, Bill would rush off to his house, seeing the as Bill reached the house, to his surprise, these monsters grab one of us, Bell's Bell's father, and kills both of their parents. Bell, seeing this, would be horrified, as in these dark situations, he would awaken the Sharingan. His eyes would burn. He would have desire to take revenge. He would be so angry. He would take the nearest weapon, which just happens to be a knife, grabs that knife and stabs into the beast, and killing instantly. Other beast would see this and would sense a human being alive, as all will run towards Bell. Bell, seeing this, would be so angry that he wouldn't be himself anymore. He would swing around the knife, killing the monsters one by one, and until every single of them died. Bell, opening up his Sharingan and kill so many beasts, would be exhausted by all and would be very tired and would pass out. Zeus, which happened to be which happened to come to the village to for some errands, I guess, would see the village completely destroyed. Zeus would try to see if there are any survivors, and Zeus finds Bell. Zeus and Bell would know each other, as Zeus would come towards the village quite often, for some work, you could say. Um, as Zeus would pick up Bell, as he would take him towards his house, and a couple of days would have passed, and Bell still wouldn't have woken up. Zeus, being a bit worried, would treat all of his wounds, and a couple of days would have passed. It would have been 7 weeks as the village has been destroyed. Bell's waking up as his head would hurt terribly, Bell would kind of look around, grabbing his head, and uh, with a tired tone would see an old man, which would be Zeus. Bell would look up to him and says, "Grandpa," as Zeus would say, "Bell, you are awake. Finally, um, what happened to the village? Why was it destroyed?" As Zeus would be asking Bell with time these questions, as Bell would grab his head and says, "Ah, my head, my head, my head is killing me." As as Bell would, and the Zeus would say, "Bell, rest up. We'll talk after you feel a little bit better." As a few hours would have passed, and Bella's headache would have been less paining, so he would be able to answer his questions now. As Bell would say to Zeus, um, a monster. A monster, a boar-like looking monster, which had faces, which didn't have faces. Instead of the faces, it had mouths. Um, Bell explains what happened, and Zeus would be quite sorry for Bell, as he had to go through such a horrific experience himself too. As Zeus would also know how it would feel since his entire family was killed by the Black Dragon. As Zeus would uh, would um, adopt Bell and say, "You live with me from now on." As a couple of days would have gone by, as Bell would Zeus would ask, "Hey Bell, what happened to all those beasts? When I arrived, there weren't any. What happened?" As Bell would reply back as, "I don't know. When I saw my parents died, I was so angry that my eyes started to burn, and all I could see was red all over. And after that, I don't remember anything." As Zeus would um, kind of be thinking to himself, burning eyes, seeing all red, seeing his parents' deaths. This may be the Sharingan, as Zeus would know that his parents were the Uchiha descendants, failure Uchiha descendants, as there are in the anime and Naruto, would know that, would say to Bell, I think it was the Sharingan, kid. Bell, as the Bell asked back, as, "What's the Sharingan?" As Zeus would explain, and if you don't know what the Sharingan abilities are, basically it slows down time, which makes the user having increasing reaction time. It would have making the base. It would have increased the base strength of the user, and it could have copied. It can copy any forms of martial arts or anything it sees, basically. But it can copy magic, not yet, anyways. Sorry. Um, what was that? Yeah, and it can put any person under a hypnosis like state and make people do whatever the user wants. As Bill would know this, and Bill said, "I have that power." As Bill would, Zeus would say, "Yes." As a couple of days go by and Zeus starts to train Bell into using his Sharingan, a couple of months would have now passed. Bell, with intense training, trained by Zeus, would now be able to use activate and deactivate his Sharingan at will. And Bell is currently 11. I don't know what this means. Zeus would kind of disappear um, for no reason, as Bell would ask around and uh, ask around, saying, "Do you know where my grandpa is?" As everybody would say, "Should we tell him?" Bell would say, "What happened? What happened to my grandpa? As Bill, as the people would say, he got killed, basically, but he didn't in the original. He just vanished and made up that. So Bill um, would be quite sad by my grandpa too. What did I do to deserve this? As Bill would be quite sorry, would be quite depressed, and would remember back to him and Zeus's interactions. Basically, his last words to Bill before he disappeared was, "Go to Orario, Bill, and join up with Familia if you can. And while you're at it, go pick up balls in the dungeon." As he would, as Zeus would say with a thumbs up, Bell, no, um, remembering Zeus's last words, would go to Arario, and Bell would be quite good looking. If you are wondering, Bell would look very handsome. Just saying. Um, Bell would go towards Oreo and would get rejected after rejection after rejection after every familia. Seeing Bell just being 12 and thinking this kid doesn't have any experience, as they didn't want to take him, as and Bell, after being rejected by another one, would be passing through would be walking down the streets as Hestia would kind of have a crush on Belle, as she was quite following him, as uh, Hestia would reach out his hand and ask, "Hey, do you want to join my family?" As Belle would accept with yes, yes, as Hestia and Belle are in the familia now. Hestia and Belle would be living inside the church, and inside the church, and they do all the preparations, like giving Belle his fauna and everything like that. And while doing that, Hestia would show Belle his stats. While she was showing it or copying it into a piece of paper, would see a thing called the sharigan. Hestia would know what this is, as all gods and goddesses know what the sharigan is. Would ask Belle, "Hey, you have this skill called the sharigan." Belle would say, "Oh yeah, I have that. I forgot." Hestia would say, "Wait, you know what this does?" As Bell would activate his Sharingan, and it says, "Yeah, I can control them," and all those powers that comes with the Sharingan. As Hestia would know as well as every other god that with the power of the Sharingan comes with a curse of being the bad guy every single time, or most of the time that happened anyways. Most of them turned evil and almost conquered the world, so the Sharingan would be seen kind of like a curse. And if you were caught seeing with this, would be treated differently, basically. Um, Still recording? Would be treated as like a god, basically, like even higher than a god, because the users of the Sharingan were so powerful. Like I'm gonna say, the hero Argonaut was also had the Sharingan, and he was very powerful. Like he almost conquered the entire world by force. So the person that has the showing on would be treated like a god, basically, since they were so overpowered, you could say. And after that conversation, Bell would head off towards the dungeons. And while no no, first of all, he would go towards the guild for the formalities of joining a familia and all of that. And then Bell would go towards the dungeons. Bell would be on level 1 at first. Bell would mostly won't struggle with level 1 monsters since he trained with Zeus and he's a bit powerful. B goes to level 2 and he starts having a bit of problem. Not as much, but would have a little bit of problem as he would start to go to level 3. Um, and in level 3, it would have been a little bit harder, more harder basically. At this point, Bell realized he needs to activate his sharigan to stand a chance, or to make his life easier basically. Would activate the sharigan, and now it would be a piece of cake. Till level 5 basically. Till level 5, he would smash every single monster in his way, and he would return back, and he would deposit, and he would have collected a lot of stones, like a lot, and he would earn like 100,000 coins basically, and that would be enough to for them to join up, to buy an apartment basically, and to not live in the church, as Hestia would check on Belle's stats, as um, Hestia's surprise has grown a lot. Um, uh, I'm gonna say the Sharingan gives the user another benefit of having uh, being able to level up faster basically. So how no Hestia would be surprised as he's leveling up fast. um, I guess this is because of the Sharingan. um, Sorry about that. um, as Bell, as Hestia would update Bell's fauna, and a couple of days passes, and Bell goes towards the dungeon and goes all the way up to 7. Rumors would spread around like wildfire about Bell, like just an adventurer that hasn't been an adventurer for even a couple of months has gone towards the 7th floor, no problem. And this rumor would spread so much that even the Loki Familia would know about it, as they would try to recruit him by force or by friendly terms, you could say. Bell would, and one fateful night, no, um, one day while Bell was heading off towards the level 4, um, he would notice something strange, as it was much quieter and much more safer. Bell would kind of feel uneasy about this and says, I think I'm gonna take the day off. And sorry for the background noises. Um, as Bell is heading out, he would hear a large roar. As as the Minotaur would be charging towards Bell. Bell would see this and activate his Sharingan, as as the Minotaur would be slower than him. Bell would easily dodge out of the way, and the Minotaur head towards the wall, and Bell and the Minotaur starts to battle. As the Minotaur and the battle between Bell would start, Bell would dodge, but with his equipment, like with his weapons, he wouldn't be able to penetrate the Minotaur's skin. It would be too tough for Bell's current weapons to penetrate it. While Bell is powerful enough to kill the Minotaur, but his weapons isn't. So his weapons are gonna break mid-round. Bell is gonna be screwed with his weapon being broken, as Bell would be kind of screwed, and he would be punched across the wall basically. Bell would be kind of in a dire situation. At this, Eyes would come and save the day and kill the Minotaur for him, and Bell would still get blood all over his face. Um, Eyes would say, "Are you okay?" Bill replied back as, "Yes, thank you very much." They would exchange names, and Belle would head out. Belle wouldn't have a crush on Eyes, you would say. Wouldn't have a crush, so that's out. That ship is out of the window. Belle would run back, rush back towards the guild as yelling as "Hey!" As I forgot. Hold on a second. Would rush towards the guild. Would rush towards his advisor, which I forgot the name about. Would yell out, and they would have a talk, a small one, as the advisor would suggest. I suggest you first take a bath and then come talk to me. As Bill realizes, oh, I'm covering blood. As shrugs it off and goes towards the apartment, cleans it up, and no, Bill arrives at his apartment. Hestia would see this and would ask Bill, why are you covered in blood? As Bill would say, oh, I was fighting the Minotaur and I almost died, and this person came in and saved me, and this is the Minotaur's blood, you could say. As Eyes would say, oh, um, uh, did you had trouble even with your sharigan? Bill said, no, I didn't had trouble with my power, but my weapons didn't keep up with me. They, uh, they, they betrayed me. They broke off. They shattered while we were fighting the Minotaur, and I got screwed. If it wasn't for Eyes Wallenstein, or Sword Princess, I would have been dead today, and wouldn't be able to see you then. As Hestia would kind of blush on this, as Bell is gonna be a charmer, basically. He is gonna be following Zeus's footsteps and trying to pick up girls in the dungeon. As Bell would kind of take a bath and can't come out, as Eyes would no, Hestia would update Bell's status. Thank you for listening to this What If.